Let's talk about medical debt. Just hearing those words can be stressful. It always seems to show up when you're least prepared, kind of like a storm you can't control. But here's the thing, there is a clear path forward. Today, we're going to explain exactly what you can do about medical debt on your credit report, starting right now.
And hey, if you're facing this, you are so not alone. Right now, about 20 million people in the US, we're talking nearly 1 out of every 12 adults, are dealing with medical debt. It is a massive issue, and it affects people from every single walk of life.
This quote just gets right to the heart of it. It's not just about the money, is it? This debt shows up after a health scare, an accident, some major life event. You're already feeling emotionally drained, and then this huge financial weight just gets dropped on top of you, making a really tough situation feel almost impossible.
Now here's where the story gets interesting. There was this huge change on the horizon, a big promise that was going to bring massive relief for millions of people. But then, well, things took a very sharp and very unexpected turn.
So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, they finalized a rule that was a total game changer. The plan was to completely ban credit reporting agencies from putting any medical debt on the credit reports that lenders see. For so many people, this felt like the final answer.
And here is the twist. This past July, a federal court ruling just vacated that rule. Poof, gone. Just like that, the promised fix disappeared, leaving millions of people thinking, okay, so what happens now? And feeling like they were right back at square one.
Which, of course, brings us to the most important question of all. With that federal help off the table, what can you actually do to protect your credit and get a handle on this debt? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
But here's the thing. Even without that big federal rule, the world of medical debt has already changed for the better in some really important ways. Let's dig into the protections you have right this very second.
And this is some genuinely good news. Before that CFPB rule ever got blocked, the big 3 credit bureaus, we're talking Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they had already put some major protections in place all on their own. So no, all hope is definitely not lost. Far from it.
Okay, so these changes give you 3 really powerful shields. First, there's a 1-year grace period. A medical bill can't even show up on your credit report until it's been in collections for a full 12 months. That's huge. Second, if you pay off a medical collection, it gets completely deleted. It's like it was never there. And third, any medical collection under $500 will never, ever appear on your credit report, period. These are real tools you can use.
So, knowing the rules is one thing, but how do you actually use them to your advantage? That's what really matters, right? So here it is, your step-by-step playbook for taking control.
But before we dive in, look at this number, 80%. Studies have shown that a staggering 80% of medical bills have errors on them. Typos, coding mistakes, you name it. It's not just a possibility, it's almost a probability. And it's why our very first step is so absolutely critical.
Okay, here are the 5 key strategies. We're going to walk right through them. Disputing errors, negotiating a settlement, applying for financial forgiveness, considering a debt management plan if things are bigger, and finally, making darn sure the credit bureaus are playing by their own new rules.
Step 1 is your first line of defense. Become a detective. You can get your credit reports for free every single week. Go through them with a fine-tooth comb. See a debt you already paid or one you don't even recognize? File a dispute with that credit bureau. By law, they have 30 days to investigate. If they can't prove the debt is legit, boom, it has to be removed. It's often the quickest win you can get.
So what happens if the debt is real? Okay, first step, don't panic. Go straight to the source, the hospital or the provider's billing department. You have more leverage here than you think. A lot of them are willing to negotiate a settlement for 30, even 50% less than what you owe. You should also ask about their charity care or financial hardship programs. You might qualify for help you didn't even know existed.
Now, if medical debt is just one piece of a much larger puzzle, a debt management plan might be the answer. This is about getting your whole financial picture under control. A nonprofit credit counseling agency will work with your creditors to bundle your payments and lower your interest rates, just making everything way more manageable.
So far, we've been talking about reacting to debt that's already on the books.
Now, let's switch gears and be proactive. Your best defense against future problems is to know your rights as a patient before you even get a bill.
And these rights are fundamental. You have the right to an itemized bill that details every single charge. You have the right to an explanation for those charges. If your insurance denies something, you have the right to appeal. And, like we've said, you always have the right to dispute errors and ask about financial assistance. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise.
And on that itemized bill, here are two of the most common and expensive errors to watch for. There's balance billing. That's when you get a surprise bill from an out-of-network provider who is at an in-network hospital. Then there's upcoding. That's when you get charged for a more complicated, more expensive service than what you actually received. Spotting these can save you thousands.
So, let's bring this all together. Look, the bottom line is this. Yes, that big federal rule that was supposed to wipe medical debt off credit reports got struck down. But that does not mean you're powerless. Between the protections the credit bureaus already have in place and the strategies we just covered, you have real, actual tools to fight back.
At the end of the day, you have more control here than you probably think. By understanding the rules, knowing your rights, and just taking those proactive steps, you can absolutely navigate this. The path is there. Your financial health really is in your hands. The only question is, are you ready to take control?